All right, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Janice. So I am one of the educators here at Hills Leadership and Training Institute. So in this particular video, we're going to talk about community learning. And community learning is really on an uptick, right? It's one of those type of strategies that we use to really kind of bring a group of people with similar interests into a common space. And from there, we share information that all of the individuals are mostly concerned about. Now, when we are looking at community learning, it's more than just getting people together. We have to be very mindful and intentional on how the group is formed, how the information is curated for them, and how we are going to essentially grow, share, and learn in that environment. Everyone in the community, the goal should be for them to grow together, right? And this is whether you are a teacher, whether you are a community leader, whether you are just someone who's passionate about learning. We want to make certain that everyone grows. So some of the strategies that we're going to talk about for enhancing and, of course, curating an effective community learning is essentially things that every community leader need to know and to understand. Now, I've given over 5,000 hours of actual in-person and online training. And as a facilitator and as a person who bring other individuals with common interests together, it's really important that you understand what the need of those particular individuals in your group, what they are. The reason why I say that is because, as you know, in our society today, we are very, very limited on the amount of time that we're willing to really spend on, receiving new information, implementing new information, and then the speed at which the information began to have some type of transformative effect in our life. Reason why is because we have technology that makes it super easy to gather information together, analyze information, potentially do the hypothesis that we normally would have had to take weeks to probably, develop. And so everything is moving so much quicker. So with that in mind, we're not trying to rush people through the process of learning, but we are trying to get them there in a more direct route. So using technology inside of the community is going to be really important. Also, which is if you look at my videos over the last couple of weeks, I've really been talking about email marketing strategies. And the reason why is because with email marketing, you have ownership of your community contact. And if you have your email list developed, and if you are, of course, making certain that that email list is maintained, and what I mean is, removing individuals who are inactive or putting them in maybe some other email structure, right, or funnel, then that is going to, of course, create more involvement in more engagement in your community. So having a way to utilize technology and of course putting systems in place to help with curating learning and engagement in the community is an amazing first step. But before you can do any of that, you first have to have a way of collecting those community members' information. And the very first thing that I always talk about is building your email list. Now, we are going to have a cohort that is going to be starting that is going to walk us through developing our email marketing campaign to include funnels, talking about lead magnets, talking about really understanding who our audience is and what need we are meeting in terms of their problem that we're solving. So all of that is going to be taking place in the cohort that is going to be available in the next couple of weeks. If you're interested in joining a cohort, then absolutely go ahead and click the link that's inside of the description. There's an application process, and then from there, you'll receive information on how to register once we look at your application. So one of the things that we know in terms of any kind of technology is that we want to make certain that we're using technology that is familiar to us and that we can provide some explanation and insight into the usefulness of it, right? So some of the things that we utilize, especially for gathering our community together, are very simple web type meeting platforms like Zoom, maybe Microsoft Teams. I've even used Adobe Connect. So there are various platforms that are out there that will meet that purpose. Now, if you're looking to, have a little less formal type community where you are really not thinking about, kind of having a total connection with the community at all times, then you could potentially look at other maybe simpler type technology like text messages and those types of things. You have to decide how and what is going to be the best form of connecting with your community. Like, how do you want to connect with your community? And the chances are is that you're probably going to have more than one way that it's going to be the optimal option for you. So you may, of course, start with the email, and from email, we may move over to a community forum. From there, we may have group text, right? And other type of community engagement. Now, here's the thing. When we talk about any of these particular methods for how we are engaging with our community and how we are essentially bringing our community together, it doesn't have to be a linear process, right? That means that there could be a web-like process where, one thing may work better in this particular phase of the community, and something else may work a little bit better in the other phase of the community. The key is just to make certain that your community is being connected and being provided that information and that benefit that will allow for them to continue to engage and grow. You also want to make certain that inside of your community, that you're aware of what kind of inclusion and diversity that you are interested in creating. A lot of times, because our communities are so focused on a particular objective, there's not a need for a lot of extra stuff to kind of go on. If your community is focused on networking for someone's business, then we have a lot of different avenues where we can essentially grow in terms uh, of creating additional streams or creating additional avenues for information to be provided to them. And what I mean by that is that if your business or your community is centered around networking, well, there's professional growth, there's personal growth, there's growth between peers and so forth. That from those areas you can have various topics and discussions take place. We also want to make certain that there is a way for peer-to-peer communication. So it's great. It's the curator of the actual community to be able to engage and communicate with all of the members, but the community really doesn't come together fully until there's a way for the community members to communicate with one another. And what that does is it creates a shared a common type thread in the community where the shared interest will begin to grow, and people will begin to, of course, remain, excuse me while I take care of this. Yep, see. And people will remain inside of the actual community. A lot of times people find that people leave the community because they find there is no more value in being a member. So you're always looking for input from your community members. You're always looking to make certain that your community members are um, allowed to engage with one another, that there is opportunity for growth and recognition inside of the community, and that you are essentially ultimately fostering that collaborative type environment. You know, you want to make certain that it's vibrant, that it's engaging, and that it benefits those who want to be there. So I just want to thank you for joining me today as we talk about really, understanding, how can we begin to develop a very high-end learning community. And this is a very important topic to me because, as you know, I am an educator, I am an instructor, facilitator, work really heavily in team development. And so having the ability to kind of bring people together and, of course, keep those individuals engaged is one of the key things that I enjoy doing. And I am so excited to share this particular area of my life with you. So if you enjoyed this video, absolutely be sure to follow or subscribe to the channel, okay, and have your friends subscribe. And also make certain that you like the video. And please drop a comment and let me know what you think. With that, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.